welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner, Brian the Ranger Retard, bringing you another masterful special. We just keep calling our own. Today we are going to How to Beat the Birds, and another great episode Brian and myself are going to bring to you is going to be the Baltimore Ravens this week. And our affiliate, who was nice enough to come back on the air for us and tell us how the Ravens are going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles this week, is Rick Amos. Rick, welcome to the show.
Hi, Mike. Hi, Brian.
How you doing, Mr. Amos?
Absolutely beautiful to talk to you again, Rick. So, Rick, let's just get right to it. Here comes an Eagles team that's been stumbling for a while now. The Ravens team who just came out of New England, almost won the game, probably should have won the game. What do you think? Do the Ravens have to do anything drastically different to come in, or to actually stay in Baltimore and beat this Philadelphia Eagles team? What do you see the main focus could be this week?
I think it's just going to come down to ball control and not turning it over to football. I think if they can do that, they have a real good chance of coming out with a win.
Yeah, you look at Joe Flacco's production. He's actually done really well in the last couple of weeks, and Dixon's been running the ball extremely solid. I think the Ravens have to get Steve Smith more involved in the game. They are spreading the ball out well to Mike Wallace and Perriman and even Dennis Pitt, his favorite target. Do you think more of the running game is going to have to flow for the Ravens, or do you think they're going to be able to throw consistently on the Eagles?
I mean, I said even in the beginning of the year that I'd like to see a little bit more running than what they have been doing in the past, and even through the season this year. Just to look at the stats, Joe's still throwing the ball a large percentage of the time. And I think if they can, I'm not saying a balanced attack, but just put themselves in good third down situations, third and short, so it's not really known whether you're going to pass or run. I think they've been putting themselves a lot of times this season in third and long where teams know they're going to be passed. So I'd like to see them be a bit more balanced this week, but again, it's just going to be who can sustain drives and keep possession and not turn the football over. I think that's who's going to win the game, be it the Eagles or the Ravens.
And to your point, Rick, the Ravens right now are 7th in the league in yards per game passing and 28th in yards per game rushing. So they definitely have been an unbalanced offense through the air versus the ground. Do you think that part of that might be because they just can't seem to get one of these guys to run away with the job? Whether it's been Terrence West or Kenneth Dixon, Justin Forsett was a starter at the start of the year. They just can't seem to get anybody to just take the ball and run with it, so to speak. Pardon the pun. Do you think that that's lending itself to? Is that part of the reason why they just haven't been that sustained on the rush attack?
I really don't know if it's all of that or if it's just the game planning and the play calling. There's times I look at situations and I say hey, it's second and second and 4. Now would be a good time to run the ball. And, even if you get 2 yards, now you're 3rd and 2. And, so many times I've seen it this year where they'll drop back to pass and not a high percentage type play. And next thing you know, there's a sack or, no gain. And there you are back in 3rd and long again. You know what I mean? So I'm really not sure. I don't know if it's the run blocking that's, they feel is an issue, that they're just passing so much. But, I just like to see them sometimes on 2nd and 4 run the ball again and not just go to the air. That seems to be, their MO and what they like to do.
And there's some speculation, too. You always hear rumors of, coaching vacancies as it gets towards the end of the season. And the Ravens do not hold a playoff spot currently. Do you think that Harbaugh needs to make the playoffs to keep his job, or do you think that do you think they'll make the playoffs for one, but do you think that do they need to for him to be back next year?
I think he'll be back next year. I don't think Baltimore's to the point yet where if they didn't make the playoffs, they would get rid of Harbaugh. Not yet. At least I don't I haven't been sensing any of that yet. Will they make the playoffs? If they control their own destiny, at least if they win out, and that's easier said than done. But if they win their last 3 games, where we have the Eagles, Bengals, Pittsburgh, I believe, If they win out, then they win the division, which is probably what they need to do in order to make the playoffs, because there's a chance if they don't win the division, then one of the other teams is going to be the wild card and not the Ravens. So otherwise, they're going to need some help with somebody else losing games. So at least they control their own destiny, and that's a good place to always be. So if they win out, they're in. So that's what I'm hoping they do. But irregardless, I don't think that we're going to see a change in the coaching staff one way or the other.
Rick, do you think on the defensive side of the ball, you got Zach Orr out there, monster, getting everything, and obviously Terrell Suggs, solid back there. You have the San Diego free agent Eric Weedle back there. My question is, with the Eagles, with going with Smallwood and Sproles, well, Sproles in a concussion protocol, and Smallwood on IR, it only leaves Ryan Matthews back there. Do you think the Baltimore Ravens would try to worry, obviously, more about the pass now and drop people back, or are they still going to load up the line and go after Carson Wentz, who has mobility?
Right. Well, I definitely think they're going to want to try to contain him and put some pressure, contain pressure on him, and try to make him uncomfortable. First of all, I think that's their key. But to your point, that definitely plays into it, as well. They don't have that much of a long ball. At least in my opinion, you can correct me if you feel I'm wrong, but I don't think the concern is the long ball as much as them just spreading the ball around, like you say, the scrolls coming out of the backfield or out of the slot and those types of things. But I think the key for Baltimore defensively is just to make Wentz uncomfortable.
Kenyon Barton.
Kenyon Barton. I mean, again, I think it's a winnable game for the Ravens. I think it's a game the Ravens desperately need. You mentioned the schedule there, Rick, and they do have very winnable games playing the Eagles and playing the Bengals. That Steelers game on Christmas Day, that might just be for the division. So this is a game I think the Eagles definitely are in trouble. I think that the Ravens have something to play for here for sure. Do you have a prediction for us on the game?
Oh, boy. Well, let me say this. I'm always an Eagles fan unless they're playing the Ravens. And that's just because of my relationship, obviously, that we all know with the Flaccos.
Sure.
So this one's always a tough one for me. I'm thinking it's going to be probably in that three-score game, maybe something like 21-17, 24-21 type of a game. And I'm hoping this week, at least, the first week that I'm not rooting for the Eagles, that it goes the Ravens' way.
Fair enough. The last thing I have for you, Rick, is in watching the game the other night and taking a close look at the game against New England, Devin Hester, I understand he's an older guy, he's been in the league a long time. Yeah. Man, has he lost a step. He looked like he was towing a piano a couple times running that ball back. They are definitely going to have to get somebody in the offseason to run some punt kickoffs back.
Right. Well, they let go of Hester, it looks like. Was that just today or yesterday?
Yeah, recently.
I think that was a good move. Yeah. I hate to say it because he is a great player.
I guess the hiatus, he just, like you say, he was one of the best. He's been most fun to watch in his days at Chicago. He has seemed to have lost a step, and it almost started to seem like some confidence, Yeah,
when you lose a step, it's tough. So
yeah, for sure.
Well, that's all the time we have for How to Beat the Birds this week, a.k.a. the Baltimore Ravens. I want to thank Mr. Rick Amos Sr. for coming on and giving us a little bit of knowledge about the Ravens. Rick, thank you very much, as usual, pal.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure. And remember, we always have some good stuff coming at Sports Box.
And, of course, you know where to find it by now. If you don't, I'm going to remind you, but you probably should know by now. We're on Twitter at SportsBox Show. We're on Facebook, of course, where you can like us and see a wonderful video of my friend here, Mike, having his first attempt. There will be a second.
There will be
at kicking the field goal. Yes. And, of course, we're on YouTube, where if you're not subscribed by now, I have no idea what you're waiting for.
You must be in a cave or something. But how do you not like these two guys? I mean, it's just, I don't understand it. But anyway, that's all the time we have. Thanks for watching. As usual, just make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel. It's always a pleasure to give you specials. And remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is right here. Thanks for watching, folks. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.